Matt, the combination of David and Braden there in the second half, what did that dynamic give you and allow you to come back there?
Yeah, well, we were searching. I thought David played really well in the first half, and Braden didn't play as well in the first half. Then obviously Braden got it going. But we were kind of just searching to find some guards to defend. You know, we had some breakdowns in our transition defense. We had some breakdowns, you know, with Joplin and with Cam Jones. We wanted on their handoffs and their ball screens with those guys to stay connected with them. And we got loose and we went underneath them and just, we knew Cam Jones would triple threat and shoot. And so, you know, he really had such a good first half, and then David Joplin had a great second half. But, you know, it's my perspective, but it comes after, you know, breakdowns. You know, you just don't get guys like that and you give them those rhythm threes. And so we were really just searching to find the right group to be able to defend. You know, we wanted to make, you know, Kolek more of a scorer. Obviously, we do that, and he still gets 11 assists. It kind of shows you how elite of a passer that he is. And really just make those guys drive more and just knock those other two guys off the line. But, you know, I thought David and Braden did a pretty good job, you know, together, both offensively and defensively.
What's it say about Braden? His third college game in this environment against this opponent, he just takes command of the game the way he did in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's a good player. He really hasn't played well up to this point. I know in the first game he had 7 steals, but the way he's played in practice for us, he really hasn't put it together until this half. But he's capable of doing that. He's capable of looking for a shot, knocking down threes, getting to the basket, and then obviously delivering the basketball. So, you know, he's a good player, and it just kind of shows you across the board. We all look at rankings and stars and all that kind of stuff, and they mean absolutely nothing. Because there's a lot of guys that played in this game right here on both teams, you know, that won 4 stars and won 5 stars, that are really good college players.
Hey Matt, you guys beat a really talented team tonight, and Shaka was so complimentary you guys in your program. But how satisfying was it for you to see your team come back in the second half, a young team, and kind of come together and win the game?
Yeah, it was good just to see them. You know, you can't come back unless you can stop them, right? So we had to get some string, we had to get a string of stops together, and then be able to go on the run and score the basketball and make some plays. But, you know, I thought they were resilient. I thought they hung in there. You know, when you have a deep team, sometimes as a coach, it's a little harder to shuffle than it is when you feel good about 7 or 8. You know, you feel good about 7 or 8. You get foul trouble with one guy. You get another guy who's not playing well. You know, you're playing 5 to 6 guys right there, especially coming down the stretch. So it's a good thing to have a lot of options. And I thought when we had to go to some different matchups, I thought Trey Kaufman did some good things. Caleb First, obviously that block was a big block in the game. He had the nice dive on the pass from Zach. But we got help from everybody. And that's what you have to have. You know, you have to have different guys stepping up. But if they will defend, if we can find some guys that can really defend and stick with them, because I think we can really develop as a good offensive team, we can make some strides.
David mentioned that him and Braden really don't practice together because they're guarding one another.
Right. Not the last, well, yeah. David hadn't practiced,
right.
Period. So.
But my question is, when you put 2 guys out there that haven't really played together,
right.
does David's experience kind of shine through in that situation?
Well, they haven't practiced together now. We went a long time where we mix it up a lot. And so sometimes about every 3rd to 4th day they would go together. But now since games have started, David's been out a week and they haven't been together. I don't think it's that big a deal. It is a good point. But David, you know, David wasn't scared at the moment. Like nothing bothered him. You could see that in his confidence. And that's something you can't talk through. Either you got confidence in yourself or you don't. And sometimes it takes a while for a younger player to, you know, just to believe in himself, especially when things aren't going his way. And you can see Braden stepping up tonight. You can see David stepping up tonight. But no, that combo is something that we can use. There's a lot of different combos I think we can use throughout the year.
Hey Matt, I asked Zach, he got almost 33 minutes tonight, and obviously that's a little bit different for him the last few years, but how is it for you getting him, you know, more minutes? And obviously he's been sharing minutes the last few years, but what's that like for you to get him those extra minutes?
Well, if you just look at his stat line, you know, you play 33 minutes, you don't turn the basketball over, you're the best rebounder on the court. You're the biggest weapon on the court. You're changing shots, you're blocking shots. It's hard to take somebody off. And I've tried to talk about this before because we've had bigger guys before that gets fatigued. I'm not saying that he doesn't get fatigued, but he can play through it. And I think you saw that tonight. I don't think this game was an outlier for him. But the matchup that we had there, he causes so many problems. And I thought in the first half, I thought both teams had, some pretty good execution offensively and just missed open looks. I thought Marquette had a handful of shots that just, on another night they're going to go down. And we were just kind of praying it didn't go in, but they did a good job executing. Well, I thought we did the same thing when they doubled the post and we moved the ball, especially in the first half. We had some really good looks. It just didn't go down. So anytime you're going to get double and triple team like that and you have guys that can shoot, it's hard to take them out, especially when you're doing well in the defensive end like you did.
I'd say talk to that a little more. Edie's pick and roll defense, particularly in the second half, it really targeted him, and it seemed like he was really able to keep up with ankles.
Yeah, he did a good job on Oso. I mean, he still had a couple of those little scoop shots, but that's pretty tough to do. And like he did that on, he shoots that little floater, in between floater, and he's got a bright future. Like his ability to move, and I thought he did a good job guarding Zach. I thought he did a really good job. And but no, it's when you get in that ball screen D, it just depends. We went to a drop exclusively because we didn't want Oso to get behind us and get layups or get flip up dunks and things like that. We wanted to keep him there and just kind of get him in limbo. You can see, where Tyler would get there sometimes and he would pause and wait and then shoot a little floater. We wanted more of that where there was just kind of that indecision from all those guys. We didn't want the rhythm threes that, we didn't stop either. So that was what we should have shut off. We can shut that off if we stay disciplined and do what we're supposed to. And then we were just going to live with some of those. We just felt like kind of those floating shots, they just weren't going to beat us. Even though they can, obviously, we just didn't think they could. So.
That's all right. Did you see some poise from the young team defensively, like after all their second chances? But they didn't score a lot often?
Yeah, it seemed like we were getting our hands on a lot of basketballs and Marquette was getting more. Like Marquette seemed to collect it more with two hands and were a little bit stronger than we were. We were kind of batting it around. And then we'd have to play another defensive possession. Then it happened again. It seemed like there was about 3 or 4 of those instances where you just had to kind of grind it out and get a stop. But we weren't getting those loose balls and we weren't getting those rebounds. I thought they did a better job, of that. And, we just got to do a better job as a group of getting those loose balls and long rebounds.
Is there anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.